They say the journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step, and we took steps. Steps through the bridges, through waterfall, through mud, steps down the mountain, and going up on the mountain, on the edge of the mountain. It all started and ended with tiny steps day in and day out. These steps took us closer to the majestic Himalayan range. The weather made this journey tougher. We continued taking our stride with the faith to see a blue sky. All the pain and fear would slowly dissipate and disappear, as everything is achievable and there will always be a way once you decide to trek to Annapurna Base Camp. After a rocky start where our flight from Kathmandu to Pokhara got cancelled, we had to take a road journey to reach Pokhara. This means the first day of the trek is gone. Finally at night we made it to Pokhara. It is continuously raining here, and because of that the trek for next few days is going to be completely a monsoon trek. With excitement in our heart and rain welcoming us to Annapurna Sanctuary, we made our way to the starting point of Annapurna Base Camp. So we came till Tikedunga in our car. This was supposed to be our first stop. Yesterday night we were supposed to stay here, but that couldn't happen. So that part we covered in the car. We are going to Gorepani via Ulleri. Everyone is here? All set? All set. All set? Okay, let's go. If we managed to reach Pokhara yesterday by flight, we would have stayed in this area. We would have started the trek from this particular part in the morning, probably at around 8 o'clock. But now it's 10:30 and we are starting from this point. So we are only 2 hours behind. With fresh monsoon air and clouds covering the mountain top, greenery welcomed us as the first day of the base camp trek. After our food stop in Ulleri, we are now moving towards Gorepani. It's raining, but it's not a heavy raining, it's a light raining, and the whole area is covered in clouds. The start of the day was filled with excitement, but with every passing hour, the tiredness and rain drained our energy level. By the time we reached Gorepani, it was 10 p.m. in the night and everyone was exhausted. A little glimpse of sun made us continue the trek despite the exhausted experience of the first day. Weather is still bad, it's still raining a lot, and we decided to go to Annapurna. From Gorepani, plan was to go to Tadapani with a detour to Punhil to have a 360-degree view of Annapurna mountain range with the view of Annapurna South. Since it was a rainy day with clouds covering the mountain top, we decided to cancel our visit to Punhil and head directly to Tadapani. We reached the top of Derail Danda to see the view of Punhil and Annapurna mountain range. As we walked down the mountains, we crossed paths with various waterfalls and small bridges. The sun started coming out and the rain stopped by afternoon for us to enjoy the view and greenery lightening our path. We reached Tadapani before time and we had the whole evening to enjoy and have some delicious food. So today morning is a good day because it's very less rain to no rain, and we left Tadapani in the morning and now we are moving towards Chumrung. Chumrung is our lunch spot. We are going to stay in actually Sinua, which is little ahead. We thought of crossing 1.5 hours and stay in Sinua to reduce the trek for the next day. A very fresh day 3 where we started trekking without wearing a rain jacket and sun peeking through this cloudy sky. Annapurna is the 10th highest mountain in the world at 8091 meters above the sea level. The summit to Annapurna is one of the most difficult and dangerous summits. We walked through suspension bridges, passed through villages, and a huge waterfall gave us energy to keep walking. We have been starved to see clear sky and were welcomed only with the gloomy weather. However, the first glimpse of blue sky between the white cloud was what we needed to continue our trek. Something which made our day and lifted our spirit was the first glimpse of a blue sky.
That everything's alright and that it will be fine in the end.
We had a very late lunch in Chumrung and now we are heading towards Lower Sinua. Our decision to go to Sinua is kind of to save on the next day trek, and this is pushing us to the limit because we did 6-hour trek without any food because we didn't have any lunch break. We are now heading towards Sinua. Little warm up to lose our muscles. We are excited as this is the second last day before we make our way to Annapurna Base Camp. Our trek from Sinua, we actually stayed in Lower Sinua, and now we were supposed to stay in Himalaya, but we decided to push ourselves so that last day doesn't become hectic, and we are going to stay in Durali. So it looks like 7 to 8 hours of walking with a lot of steps, flat land, uphill. We will also gain a lot of elevation, So let's see how this trek is. Walking through the dense forest and waterfall, we were amazed to see the scenic beauty of Annapurna Sanctuary. Unlike the Everest Base Camp Trek, which we did in 2018, where we walked through the shrubs and barren land, this trail was through the forest. It was filled with long trees and steps going up and down along the way. As the day came to an end, clouds covered the mountain around Durali. By the time we reached Durali, it was 8 p.m., yet another night trek experience. Today we left from Durali and we are on our way to Annapurna Base Camp. Weather was good for last 2 days, but today unfortunately there is rain. And what you see on my head, that's a jugaad because I didn't have a windshield hoodie. So our first stop is MBC, Machapuchare Base Camp. It should be around 1 hour far away. Weather is very, I don't know whether to say bad, but it's raining a lot and the temperature is low, so we are surviving that. As we come closer to base camp, we finally see a change in scenery. Instead of tall trees, we are now surrounded with shrubs and snow-clad mountains. We are moving from MBC Machapuchare Base Camp to our final spot, which is called Annapurna Base Camp. The trek is supposed to be 2 hours. Looking at our speed, we hope to reach in 3 hours at least. The path is covered in clouds, making it difficult to see ahead. But nature has its own way of making you feel grateful. As we were feeling discouraged and feared that we won't get to see the view at the base camp, suddenly we saw clouds moving away, giving us something which we will remember throughout our life. Snow is shining bright under the evening light as the sky turns blue and clouds playing around the mountains.
I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. I'm trying to make this darkness go away. I'll paint with colors and I'll sing until my lungs give out. I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. My windows open so that I can hear the sound of people talking and the wind blowing in the trees.
They say good things come after the hardest climb, and our climb to Annapurna Base Camp was rewarded when we witnessed one of the most beautiful sunrise. The first ray of light on Annapurna mountain, making it shine like gold. As long as the trek felt, the return was summed up in few minutes as we took a helicopter ride to return to Pokhara and then our flight back to Kathmandu. Before we say bye to mountains and Nepal, here is what everyone has to say about Annapurna Base Camp Trek.
I just did my first high altitude Himalayan trek.
But it is not a very easy trek.
It was very different than what I've done in the past.
Journey was a play of all kinds of emotions. We had frustrating moments, we had scary moments.
The weather said, I'm above everyone. It rained, it was thunderstorms.
Such bad weather in the first initial few days of our trek, fearful of the uncertainty ahead.
There are leeches that get stuck in your shoe.
It was something which pushed, I think, each and everyone.
The moments had been very tough at times.
The trek was scary in a few aspects.
Felt like reconsidering the entire decision.
In spite of the pain, in spite of the small falls, in spite of the muscle pulls, in spite of the ankle pains.
Whatever happens, I just wanted to do the trek. I took it up as a challenge.
There is nothing that can stop you if you set your mind to it.
If you want to achieve something, you should not think about the result.
Ultimately, it ended with great joy.
I can do it.
Nothing could stop us.
I've come for this.
You just have to do it.
However difficult it gets, it's just day after day of willpower.
To always know that there's a solution to every problem.
Any problem, if managed with the right technique, can be solved.
And not to hesitate even if I stumble.
Makes you realize about your strengths and weaknesses.
I really felt very happy that I could do it.
Our group had so much of confidence that we will do it, and we did it.
Great achievement, however small it may be for others. You learn the importance of teamwork.
We were walking through sanctuaries. Then it completely changed to a rocky terrain with complete, snow-capped mountains around us.
It also included crossing rivers, endless waterfalls.
Go through a lot of villages.
The view is something I'll never forget.
What we saw was absolutely amazing.
Keep getting awed by the nature around.
Pictures can never capture.
The sunrise point to the sunset point and in the darkest forms.
And the view was completely silver mountains in the moonlight.
An amazing sunrise. That view definitely made us appreciate the end of the trek.
The mountains do teach you a lot.
Gives you a perspective about yourself.
It was more like meditation.
A lot of me time.
This trek basically gives me a lot of confidence.
It just increases your self-belief.
How much ever big we think we are nothing.
It's a humbling experience to be around mountains.
And Nepal definitely gets you very close to nature.
And this has been the most memorable experience.
It's something which I'll remember for a very long time.
Mansi,
Ashna and
Rajesh,
Rena
Nepal successfully
completed.
Annapurna
Base
Camp.
Like, share,